one of the most famous classic horror movies, Psycho. It's inspired by the true story of Ed Gein, who had an obsessive love for his mother.
It suggested that Ed was disgusted by other women and developed a complicated sexual attraction toward his mother, or those who reminded him of his mother.
Augusta came from a strict household of German immigrants and was described as domineering, oppressive, and fervently religious. And she believed that within every human thought was a potential for sin. She also taught Ed that all women, including herself, were, quote, instruments of the devil. Anything involving sex and lust was sinful and immoral. She found sex repulsive and only engaged in it to have children. Ed's father, George. He was a violent alcoholic, and he'd beat Ed so hard in the head that according to him, his ears would ring. That to me sounds like definite brain damage happening.
And it gets really weird. One time she caught him masturbating in the tub at age 12. She then grabbed his genitals and called them the curse of man. She emphasized that sex would lead him to eternal damnation, so he needed to remain celibate for his entire life. He actually promised her that he would, and according to Ed, he kept this promise to his mother to the very end. Criminal psychologist Dr. Eric Hickey believed that Ed's sexuality was directly tied to his mother. Augusta had basically just isolated him and controlled him to the point where all of his views on women were directly tied to her, and it's believed this lasted his entire life. When Ed was 39, Augusta passed away on December 29th, 1945 at the age of 67. Ed Gein was obviously very heartbroken and was heard wailing like a small child after his mother's death. His mother was so domineering when she was alive that she left Ed emotionally and developmentally stunted, and now that she was gone, he had almost no direction in life, and his fascination with more grotesque and disturbing subjects worsened each year after his mother's death.
Ed admitted that 2 years after the death of his mother, he had begun grave robbing corpses, some from the same cemetery his mother was buried in. And some suggest that Ed's recovery of these bodies from the cemetery was a way to reanimate his mother.
And if any of the deceased resembled his mother, he was much more inclined to dig them up.